Hello, my lovelies. I'm Jenny O, the author with no last name, and this is Star Stable Month. I'm also a dev editor, a fashion designer, and a game dev. And today I'm going to talk about fashion design and MMORPGs, or maybe it's just RPGs, or any game with cosmetics you can buy as extras. So, as games have become more live services than pay once, and you get it all type of products, cosmetics, by which I mean armor or outfits, have become increasingly more and more part of the way gaming companies try to get more income from you for the game, aka microtransactions, and thus bringing you, the player, a broader range of looks you can buy to dress up your character that may or may not have stats and an actual point. The issue comes when they went from buy it once to live services products. They didn't change the way they created the armor and outfits in these RPGs or other types of games. In role-playing games, and even these customize your avatar things like Charm Farm, your cosmetics come in pieces you have to buy individually and then put together to create a whole cohesive look they call armor sets. Back when RPGs first started, especially long RPGs like Warcraft, armor sets were created to give a player the satisfaction and feeling of visual progression. They had completed something and attained a particular look. There was accomplishment to owning a set type of armor. You'd completed so many levels or chain of crafting. Now you can just buy it in a shop. Man, what an accomplishment. You've got, I don't know, 30 bucks? I'm not going to say there isn't a need for visual progression in games. Visual progression is actually a really great way to keep a player going in a long game and to show their progress. What is frustrating to me is in a game where you can earn gear for visual progression and buy gear in a shop or craft gear, it's all sets upon sets upon sets. And there is nothing, or next to nothing, that can be mixed and matched to create a unique, or at least rarer than your average Joe, look. Games do this with decorations too, and it drives me up the wall. Now, games like The Sims and Animal Crossing have a thriving mod community to offset this lack of content from the game developers. Games like that rely on the community to create clothes and decoration items in a significant enough quantity to satisfy the needs of all the different types of players who might play those games. Even Guild Wars 2, with its huge amount of armor sets and even non-set armor pieces, still doesn't have a great many to mix and match to make something cohesive, and I have heard players calling it Fashion Wars. Star Stable Online, a game with close to 3,000 clothing items, not including accessories, and no need for visual progression, has over time gone from almost random clothes to clothing sets that are almost impossible to mix and match because they can't figure out how to match blacks, or have a singular cohesive color palette with consistent names. Maybe if the items came out at the same time, they might actually share the same colors, but then you're more likely never to see those colors again. What's fun is seeing games where they're advertising your character can run around and fight in a red evening gown or a maid outfit. They get around the entire armor set problem by selling the entire outfit at a one-time purchase like you're in an old school fighter game. Now, I'm not against having individual pieces of clothing as things you can find, buy, or craft. I'm not even against visual progression since that's an important part of RPG playing. I'm not even really against these armor sets because the armor sets can look cool. What I'm proposing is these armor sets, instead of being standalone items that only look good together, can and should be part of a larger group of items the player can mix and match, or maybe be able to slightly change the details on it to role match other armor sets without looking completely out of place. AKA, I'm talking about making collections and having basic items that can be used to fill holes and bridge between different groups of clothes. Most of the time, the people creating these armor sets are concept artists or character designers. This would mean having to hire someone to work with your character designers who has a completely different skill set. Someone who can take that armor set and extrapolate the details of it and create more items off of it that are unique and interesting in themselves and at the same time can be put together in various ways. This is fashion design, not character design. I'm not saying character designers and concept artists couldn't do this. It's fashion designers have been trained to do this type of thing and know the ratios of how many jackets to tops to skirts to full body concepts like dresses and jumpsuits there needs to be per so many outfits. It's sportswear. What many concept artists and character designers are doing are creating the top 20% of a fashion collection's looks. They're creating the fashion forward, top tier, high concept outfit, which is awesome. That can be the hardest thing to come up with. It can be the outfit the rest of the collection is revolving around. The bottom 20% is the basics, like jeans, t-shirts, and really simple everyday items you tend to find at department stores. So basic tunics, a chemise, and trousers, and I don't know, a hooded cape if we're talking medieval here. Maybe a jerkin and some hose, or a long skirt. In between those are the 60% of items that are top tier 20 items translated down into simpler forms that those who don't like to be quite so edgy as a fashion leader tend to wear. And those 60% of items can be mixed and matched with the high concept items and other items. It's the 60% that are missing from MMOs. And if you're thinking, no one really cares about that, I'm going to point at City of Heroes and City of Villains that, while despite the fact the games themselves didn't do well, the character designer where you could individualize your outfit down to the most minor detail was pretty lauded and still is in certain circles. People want to be able to customize their characters. They will spend hours and hours doing it if you let them. Why not give them the ability to better customize their characters by, instead of having armor sets, having armor collections, where they can match the colors or a specific detail to another armor collection and create more unique looks. You can still have visual progressions by having top tier armor sets unlock at different levels, and maybe there's a progression in the collection itself where things get fancier the higher level they are. It's just be careful so your players don't run around in 100% over the top fancy things looking like fashion victims. Also, not every MMO of the future needs to be a medieval MMO. If you're making a contemporary game, or a Western game, or a science fiction game, then it's more interesting and fun if there are more clothes working together as collections rather than armor sets. So, I do have an example of something I did, and it's for Star Stable Online because that is the MMO I've been playing for the last few years. It's a contemporary science fiction portal horse game here. The target market is supposedly 8 to 12-year-olds, and the player character they give you could be 15 or 16 years of age. They don't really say. Like I said, the shop is huge, and there is a large fashion element to the game. Yet at the same time, most of the outfits are presented in sets. The game engine is so bad they can't allow the players to choose the colors of their outfit even, so if you don't like the color, you have to hope they make it someday. And unfortunately, they also have a habit of throwing one or two items of a set into the game and then not coming back to it if it was story related, or just not completing the set if it's holiday related or store related. It's frustrating. Backstory not important. I took a couple specific related outfits from the game and used them in the area they are to be in to create a collection of clothes for the players that would cover just about any activity or IRP idea they wanted to do. English riding, jockey silks, western riding, garden parties, running around to go shopping, mucking, gardening, whatever. Yes, social role-playing is still big in Star Stable, mostly because there is nothing else to do. There was the Silverglade clan riding outfit, a dress the NPC Baroness Annabella Silverglade wears, and lastly there was this tracksuit outfit labeled the Baroness's favorite outfit, or something. And the stable masters each wear a specific set of clothes, so I tweaked it to make it more towards what I wanted. I tried to use clothing blocks they'd already created, By block, I mean they have items of clothing in the game that all share the same shape. The clothing has been patterned out and fitted to the model, and what they do is add a texture to it. I talk about shaders, but I don't know if they actually use any. The game is pretty flat looking, and that's part of why it's so tiring to play. Some of their fabric textures are great, and others aren't so much. I wasn't trying to be overly ambitious. There ended up being 20 outfits, so about 17 new outfits, and 2 from SSO themselves that inspired me, and the one tweak. And there is at least 1 pant and 1 jacket based on items already in the game. The reason I did those items is because I wanted to prove items already in the game could be adapted to different areas with different colors or details. Once I designed the clothes, I also ended up merchandising the clothes. Merchandising is making colorways of the clothes. It's a fashion tactic to decide what items are the most important and have the most colors and will have the highest items numbers manufactured. I only did this because of the way Star Stable works. If Star Stable had a system where you can throw dye at something and it would change the colors, I wouldn't have bothered. The details I ended up using across the collection were the racing stripe, the dots, the Silverglade clan symbol, the rose, and a bow. The Baroness has a big bow on her back, so I wanted to use it in different places. Just a bunch of cute clothes I could see teenagers wearing in Jorvik in the 9 different colors of purple across the 3 outfits. Yes, 9. Welcome to my pain. And the more basic I guess you could call it an item, the more colors I gave it. Up to 5. I was running out of room at 5, and 5 was more than enough. To be fair, I only did 2 Western outfits, but there is only 1 major Western area to the game, so it's really hard to justify it for the area I was doing, which is an English eventing area. I didn't bother with visual progression or stats because in Star Stable, stats are meaningless and visual progression is non-existent. Now, I admit this was a lot of work. There is almost 40 hours of work in the designs alone, and I didn't bother with theme and variation. So this is me spitballing designs and not doing the equivalent of thumbnails. This doesn't include me cleaning, inking, scanning, coloring, and then doing all the merchandising. The bigger you make the fashion element of your game, the more work you're going to have to put into it to keep players satisfied. Now, there are some players that will never be satisfied because they want the one thing you can't give them, and that's complete control over the outfit from start to finish. I mean, maybe sliders and game engines are getting there. We aren't there yet. Game devs will still have to create and shade fabric textures and patterns and allow where the seams and fabric blocks would be. Most fashion games themselves are still fairly limited in this regard, because game makers don't really care about fashion games outside of 5 to 10 minute drag and drop games. So sad. So page 1 is the original Silverglade clan riding outfit and a set of jockey silks I created for an NPC. I am a firm believer all NPC clothes should be able to be purchased by the player. The Silverglade clan outfit is interesting because it had so many purples. Like half of them, it has a matching horse tack set. So I was using the eyedropper to try and get all the purples, and wow, I got done and I was like, I have 4 to 6 purples! So this outfit has the racing stripe, the pleat skirt, the dots, and the Silverglade clan symbol on it. If you like purple, it's one of those few higher stat purple outfits in the game. Jockey silks are interesting because jockey silks are actually registered, aka trademarked and copyrighted. You can't use that system in your game. So going forward, I'd say it'd be better to come up with a brand new system for Jorvik. Like I said, I was spitballing here. Jockey silks are supposed to be brightly colored. There is 2 of them so you can see your teammate during the flat race or the steeplechase easily. I used the dots on the silk's top, and then for the pants, jockey pants are supposed to be pure white, but those are so basic they can be shoved into a basics pile, so I added a stripe with your choice of a rose or the clan symbol. Page 2 are the dressage uniform and the show jumping uniform. Now, the organizations that regulate and do competitions for those disciplines actually have specific uniforms and colors you're supposed to wear. But guess what? This is a game, and I don't care. Again, regulation riding pants are right, so I did make some plain breeches, but with a fun rose button closure. The point is, you could wear any of these 3 breeches with any of those 3 tops and not be looked at sideways because the color matches and they do have matching buttons or symbols. Same for the gloves. I mean, okay, some of the hats are more specific than others. It's a jockey outfit. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Page 3. We get to the tweak of Judy the Stablemaster and the redesign of Agnetha with pants to something similar already in the game. The Stablemasters all wear this raincoat and a pair of breeches or tight jeans and plastic muck boots. They all also have ponytails, so I redid Judy's ponytail too. There was or is a winter coat in the game you're given that's similar in shape to the raincoat. Like I said, they have blocks. She's wearing this light blue raincoat in the game. I wanted to brand her to the area. The pink riding boots are the plastic-looking muck boots created by SSO, and I tweaked the raincoat, merging it with the winter coat and other details from the clan outfit to make her actually fit the area and look like an employee of the Baroness. Now, Agnetha is the gardener. There is a large side quest, I guess, where you as the player help Agnetha revitalize the gardens. Now what this means is you do the work and Agnetha stands there. Agnetha in the game wears a raincoat, jeans, and plastic muck boots, and she carries a chainsaw, which she loans you, a teenager, and sends you off to use without supervision. Safe. But her outfit has always bugged me. So I drew upon my own grandmother a bit here. My grandmother loved her gardens, and she wore these really soft-looking patterned cotton button-downs, and actually capri pants. But not the point. I wanted to create a gardening shirt for Agnetha that had this soft pattern to it. And then because she's going to be on her knees, there was this pant in the game that, if done right, could look like they had padded knees. So that's what I did. I tried to make the pant look like the area around the knees is padded, and you put it into that purple color scheme. Do they look cool? I hope. I mean, they don't have to wear these just for gardening RP. Maybe they like the style and they think they look cool and want to wear them around Jorvik. Maybe they want to do an RP over in Mistfall where they're saving plants. I don't know, but they have garden pants to do it. Then I gave her a nice straw hat, once again, to remind me of my grandmother. I don't know how old Agnetha is. I like to canon her age as a college friend of the Baroness. It just seems more fun to have these 2 very stubborn ladies be friendly to each other, even though one is the employee of the other. Page 4 is a muck outfit for Tyra. Tyra is one of the stable girls at SEC, and she's one of the triplets, so I changed her hair. So a cute cut-off t-shirt to stay cool, and some comfy pants that aren't going to pinch as you bend over, and some business stomping boots. The pants and the gloves have details from the Baroness's favorite outfit, which is the next page. And then to carry on the casual teenager t-shirt theme, a new NPC design who sells pets at the Quacker Barrel. She's got a beanie with some buttons on it, a t-shirt with lace sleeves that laces up the side, and another variation of work pants with sneakers. A little 50s color block sneaks here. The Baroness really made me think a little 1950s. She's classy, she's elegant. The page 5 is the Baroness's favorite outfit, and it's a tracksuit with some lace-up combat boots. I used the Moorland Protector to give it a hat because the white matched in the game. If you squint hard, the fuchsia isn't too bad. And then the other outfit is a shortened version with some of the details moved around of the Baroness's dress. Like, I can't see a teenager actually wearing the Baroness's full-length dress, but if we can use a shorter version, they might want it. Pair it with some thick tights and flats that again are a bit 1950s. The block is closest, I think, to what Jamie Olive Tree wears. Page 6, I called these uniforms. They don't have to be. They are less casual clothes. The Silverglade Manor has a restaurant and a winery, and wineries tend to have, well, wine bars. As this is a game for children, I turned it into an ice cream bar during the day, so I wanted some clothes that were a bit more formal, but could mix and match with the other items, and still a teenager could wear them. The server uniform got stompy, comfy boots because part of the restaurant is on the roof, and they have to take the stairs. Maybe someone should talk to the Baroness about an elevator? And then these less casual outfits would allow boy players and non-binary players to have more formal-looking outfits for party roleplays if they don't want to just up and wear the show-jumping jacket or something. Page 7, we have another casual outfit in a garden party dress with a big bow on the waist and a flower wreath in her hair. The flower wreaths are one of my favorite things in the game. It's summer, and the Baroness is known for her rose gardens, so I wanted to include them as an option to buy all year round. Page 8 are the Western outfits. Now, the outfit on the left is a more casual outfit, and the outfit on the right is a rodeo competition outfit. So you can go ahead and wear Agnetha's shirt with the pink jeans and the cowboy boots, or change up the jeans if you want. Those jeans just happen to have the big buckle or the chaps. Now, if I had my druthers, I'd make belts an accessory you could change out, but there's only so much I can do here. I also wanted to show some fancy fun chaps. The chaps in the game are kind of blah. Page 9 are more casual outfits. I didn't arrange this very well. The jacket on the left outfit is actually based on another jacket in the game. I changed the buttons and gave it more buttons and added the racing stripe to brand it to the area. I really do like the jacket in the game, and I wish it had more variations. Some more skirts to mix and match, another crop top with a draping bow at the neck, and some super fancy riding boots for fun. The other riding boots have been rather boring because they needed to fit to regulations. These, forget regulations. The last page is an evening party outfit with a big hat and another set of tights, and then another casual riding outfit with some winter-style boots and a very casual riding helmet that has a cloth cover. Throughout the collection, which I could always add more to later, the colors remain the same, the patterns remain the same, and the lace remains the same. You could just take about any item and mix it with another item, and it wouldn't clash. And I know it'd be so much easier if there was a die system for this game. You're going, Ginny, this is utterly ridiculous. And remember, this is a contemporary style game. This is precisely what players would expect. This is why in Mystic Riders I'm doing branded stores. That way we can do updates to the stores with new items in rotation, allow them to apply patterns and colors as they want, and I don't have to worry about something like this as much. Because I'd have a set group of items I'd consider a mini collection that would already match what was in the store already, or could match the items in other stores, as long as you matched your colors and patterns. It's roughly 8 items at a time. 2 shirts, 1 skirt, 1 pant, 1 dress, boots, hat, gloves, which is literally 3 outfits. If you start with the proper amount of clothes when the game comes out, it's not as big of a deal as you'd think. Would this be more difficult in a fantasy medieval MMO? Yes, maybe? I don't know. It sounds kind of like a challenge that someone may or may not want to take on, but I'd recommend you pay them first. If you have stuff that mixes and matches your cosmetics, players are more likely to buy things so they can have more outfits, and if those items have varying stats or stats they can upgrade, all the better. This means they need more storage, so they'll want to craft or buy more to keep their outfits organized. It probably won't change the way metagamers play because they look for efficient means to do things as possible, but maybe it would give them more options in the way they look as they go to do things in the most efficient way possible. I'm offering this system or idea up as an alternative for players who really like to customize their character and have unique or interesting outfits that look good with potentially good stats. Do I foresee this becoming a big trend? No. Maybe someone would like to prove me wrong? If games are going in a more live services direction, then I'd like to see the cosmetics in games go in a more fashion, sportswear, mix and match direction, so I can have lots of outfits, not get bored of said outfits, and have things look good together instead of piecemeal. I know it's a totally different way of thinking than how MMOs and RPGs have been done in the past. I'm still the player who loves Final Fantasy X too, because when I change my character class, I change my outfit, not just my weapon. Maybe you like this idea, or maybe you don't. Is the idea I want to use in Mystic Riders, making collections instead of armor sets, which feels moderately insane. I'm not asking anyone else to do it, because I'm nice like that. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my little SSO winery collection. Take care of yourselves. Bless, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.